All right. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, April the 16th, 2025. We are 8 days away from the kickoff of the 2025 NFL Draft. And it is something that we've all been really just champing at the bit for. Can't wait for it to happen here at the Hat and Beard Show. We are huge, gigantic fans of the NFL draft. The draft season, although is what some would call the off season, right? It is my busy season. It's other than the regular season, it is part of the off season that I look forward to the most. Looking at prospects, breaking down potential fits, moves, speculation. It is a conspiracy theorist and NFL fans' wet dream. It is the best time of year. And, we're here for it. So just making sure getting my test screen set up here for you guys. Appreciate everybody wanting to hang out here. Sorry, pardon me for 1 second. While we get this all plumb level and square, it is a growing operation. And you, my friend, are here to help us grow. If you're watching this afterwards, I really, really appreciate you grabbing the video on demand. If you're here in the live chat, there will be a bit of a delay between me because I'm not logged into the chat on my OBS, so I have to watch it on a separate screen, but that will be remedied in good time. You guys, welcome to the Hat and Beard Show. I, of course, am your hostess with the mostest, Hat and Beard. And you here are because you are an NFL fan, and you are just as ready for the 2025 NFL Draft as I am. And today we have a couple of Detroit Lions specific storylines. We do try to talk about the NFL as a whole around here. But today, with it being Mock Draft Wednesday, we like to wrap up the week with a nice little mock draft for all of you out there. We are going to be focusing more so on the Detroit Lions and what will be going on at the 28 overall pick. And as we get closer to the draft, the news will be a little bit more Detroit Lions centric. So we'll be getting a little bit more stories, a little bit less NFL stories as we get closer and closer to the draft. I do want to remind any of you all, any and all of you out there listening live or listening after the fact, video on demand, Thursday, April 24th. That is draft day. The draft starts at 8 p.m. in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We will be live that Thursday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Okay, that way those of you who are getting out of work and want to have a little bit of pre-draft coverage on your drive home, hopefully we'll be able to achieve that for you. We will be doing an extended show, a 2-hour-long show, and a bonus episode that day on Thursday. I really would love it if everybody could show up, tune in, hang out. We will be doing up-to-date news as it's breaking, developing any articles we can find, any insight that we can dig up leading into the first round that night, as well as doing 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 mock drafts. And I strongly am going to encourage the chat to be involved because as was proven last week around this time with our good friend Keitho convincing me, opened up some windows and opened my eyes to a couple of prospects that I had been running around this entire offseason with blinders on due to, positions of need, not necessarily positions of want. And thanks to big shout out to Keitho last week, opening my eyes to the big defensive tackle out of Michigan, Kenneth Grant. So that's what's going to be going on next Thursday. And again, we'll be doing a 2-hour live stream from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. leading up to the NFL draft. I figure we'll knock off at 7 because I'd like to eat a little bit of dinner before the draft, and I'm sure you would too. And then we can all collectively, hold our breath and see what Detroit does at 28. So before we get too far down the line, we will be, as I said, talking mock draft. We'll be running a mock draft simulator, and there is a fellow YouTube content creator. We are not in the same sphere. Mr. Tom Grossi, probably one of the biggest NFL content creators on YouTube, had a really funny video came out that if you know, you know. So we'll be watching and reacting to that. It's just a short little clip video, a little 2-minute video here before we launch our 7-round NFL mock draft over at who do we use? Pro Football Network, something like that. But either way, we'll run a full 7-round mock draft. If you guys are new here, do me a rock solid favor. Why don't you do a barrel roll on over to the bathtub underneath the video, click subscribe to the channel. If you're not already, ring that notification bell so that you can never miss out on any future content and be a part of the live stream. We are live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday during the off season, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, broadcasting to you. And we are, just so you guys are aware, we are the largest and fastest growing NFL live show in the 10 a.m. block, broadcasting exclusively from his dead grandmother's studio. How awesome is that? How awesome is that we are here with you all? Like the video if you enjoy the content that you are consuming right now. Share this around with all your friends. I do understand I don't want to be affiliated with myself either, so we can go ahead and skirt around that system a little bit if you don't want to share it and be affiliated with Hat and Beard. Over 68% of you consume this content on mobile, so I'll walk you through it here. Just scroll down to the bathtub there underneath the video, click the share button, and then just go ahead and copy that link onto your clipboard. That is the best way to help show the algorithm that this content is worthwhile and push it out to other people. Before we get too far into it, the chat is already going off. Jeanette Hall says, let's go Lions. Let's go Lions, and let's go you. So now that we got the little call to action out of the way, let's go ahead and light this popsicle and get into the show.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
All right, boys. So we are barrel rolling over here to SI.com. Christian Boer, we've been reading him pretty regularly. We like the content that comes out of this particular writer's brain. Now we're going to go ahead and load ourselves in. As you guys can see, 5 players who could fall to the Lions in 2025 NFL draft. Which top prospects could fall to the Lions? Number 28's overall selection. This is Christian Boer. 22 hours ago, we see there the combined superhero himself, South Carolina Gamecocks defensive back Nick Amanawarie. I think he's slotted to play at the safety spot, but his athleticism allows him to be a Brad Holmes-style chess piece in the defensive backfield, right? Shout out to the guys over here at Detroit SI or Detroit Lions on SI. They do some good work over there. The Detroit Lions currently hold the 28th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. With the draft set to commence on April 24th, the anticipation for what the team will do with its first selection is building. We've seen smoke screens come up now. We've seen potential diversions for the NFL and some trade bait being dangled out there. Yesterday we talked about the potential for Jamo himself there to be a draft day trade piece for the Lions. You guys know me. I really liked the concept of dealing him away to the Dallas Cowboys, moving up to the 12th overall selection. But that's speculation for another day. That's a pipe dream, if you ask me. The class is deep with talent on both sides of the ball, but the amount of defensive playmakers is its strength of this year's group. As a result, some of the talented options could fall into the back end of the first round. Here we have 5 players who could fall to the Lions at the number 28th overall pick. Sorry, my screen's going bananas over here. My screen's going bananas, Bananas. Georgia Edge, Jameson Williams. That's right, the thumbnail poster boy. Putting him out on the front facing of the channel today. Georgia DN, Jameson Williams. Williams is powerful edge rusher who can both stifle the run and get after opposing passers. However, he dealt with injuries throughout his final season at Georgia, which hampered his production. We know Brad Holmes, not afraid to draft highly volatile, explosive players who might be dealing with injury. Levi Onwuzurike, Jamo, right? Still, he managed to record 5 sacks amidst an ankle ailment that lingered throughout the year. So he was able to not only motor through it, but B, let's not over exert ourselves and over exaggerate, a mildly productive 5 sacks in his final year, right? Even though he was dealing with an ankle injury and Georgia was down from where they have been in years past. He lacks the finesse of some other top prospects at the position and isn't as polished as a rusher. So he could slide a bit on draft day. However, his physical traits fit what the Lions have traditionally valued at the position. And with some development, he could wind up being exactly what the team needs, opposite Aiden Hutchinson. And we've seen videos of Aiden Hutchinson. We watched late Tuesday or Monday. Aiden Hutchinson sprinting, weaving. He's ready to go. He feels ready to go, and I've been calling for it really ever since he broke his leg. I've been saying that Aiden Hutchinson will come back bigger and better than ever after this rehab. He's going to be playing like a man possessed. Another player. And now we're going to notice here that a lot of Lions work is going to be defense, and there's a reason for that, right? There's a reason for that, and that is our defense has traditionally been our Achilles heel. We have had a more productive offense in the Dan Campbell tenure, and obviously defense is always going to be a position that we need to improve upon. We've seen some guys, Carlton Davis, leave. Ife Melifonwu headed to Miami. There are some positions that need to be filled, right? And we did sign DJ Reed. So, corner, when you look at our cornerback room, you got DJ Reed and you got Terrion Arnold, who, let's be honest and call it what it is. Right now, DJ Reed should be slotted as your number 1 with Terrion Arnold in a heavy competition, right? The consolation prize for Terrion Arnold will be getting to be the number 2 corner, still a starter, but not matched up against the big dog, right? And you look at Meek Robertson able to come back. His arm should be in less than 4 pieces on Ford Field by the time the season starts. And Enos Rakestraw Jr., although having a injury-riddled and bogged-down rookie year, was slated to be the nickel slot, or the slot corner, slotted in at the nickel spot. My bad. Before injuring himself in pregame warmups and then subsequently spending the duration of his rookie year on injured reserve. Let us not forget that Enos Rakestraw Jr. last year came with a first-round grade. We were able to double-dip with Terrion Arnold in the first round, who slid to us. We were able to jump up ahead of the Packers. And then Enos Rakestraw Jr. still happened to be there in the second round. So Brad Holmes taking the best available talent and building a room out that was weak the year before. We now have non-rookie talents moving into their second year, so they should be taking a step forward. Do I think the Detroit Lions should spend a first-round pick on a corner? No. Fuck no. We spent our top 2 picks last year on corners. In the past 3 years, we have spent 2 second-round picks and 1 first-round pick on defensive backs. In the Brad Holmes tenure, we have spent, let's see, what was there? Iffy, Kirby, Brian Branch, Terrion Arnold, Enos Rakestraw Jr., Chase Lucas, at least 6 defensive backs that Brad Holmes has drafted, and 2 various degrees of success. Melifonwu couldn't stay healthy, although productive while on the field periodically. Went to Miami on a 1-year prove-it deal. Chase Lucas, I don't even know if he's in the league anymore. Right, we did bring in some guys like Kendall Vildor, right? He's now in Tampa. But then you flip it and you see that Brad Holmes was able to pull him out of, Kirby Joseph was relatively obscure, but Brian Branch not so much. Brian Branch also came with a first-round grade, similar to Enos Rakestraw Jr., and Brad Holmes took best player available when they were there. Brad Holmes was able to draft 2 of the best 5 safeties in the NFL. Current best safeties, one playing on a rookie scale, one going to be signing a big, huge extension because Kirby Joseph is the best safety in all of football. The numbers speak for themselves, right? So do I think the Lions prioritize corner in the first round of this year's draft. I don't see a world where that is a reality, especially when you look at all of the other talent available in the draft. And when you get to 28, if there is a corner there who comes with a high grade, start fielding calls because somebody else is going to be needing that position more so than you. So allocate and gather up more draft capital, slide down, maybe get a future couple picks because Brad Holmes excels at drafting players. He's the head of scouting for the LA Rams before becoming the general manager of the Detroit Lions. Let us not forget Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes, who consistently, I am consistently mistaken. People, just the other day, I was getting gas, and someone was like, "Hey, Brad Holmes," and I'm like, "Dude, I get it. We are very similar. We look a lot alike, but for the love of God, the biggest difference is Brad Holmes has a lot shorter hair than I do. Okay, but if I were Brad Holmes, I would not be prioritizing corner in the first 3 rounds. Unless you're in the second, unless we're sitting there at our second round pick and Will Johnson is for whatever reason still on the board, then yeah, maybe pull the trigger. But I don't see Will Johnson falling out of the top 10 at this point, right? Now with the David Carr news, that does kind of shake up draft boards, right? And they were a little late to the party with breaking that news, so everybody is now going to have to. Some teams around the Aints are going to have to shift their draft strategy if the news coming out of New Orleans is indeed accurate, and Derek Carr is going to miss the entire 2025 NFL season. Whoa, that was a big old crack! Holy cow, guys! Wow, that was a big one. But here we go. We're gonna talk about cornerback Will Johnson. Johnson has become one of the more polarizing prospects at the top end of the draft board. He doesn't have elite speed, but his fluid athleticism allows him to stay in phase against the fastest wideouts, and he does have high-level coverage ability. Injuries derailed his final season at Michigan, and he was up and down during the games he played in 2024. However, his performance during the team's national championship campaign a season prior showed exactly what he was capable of. And this is something where we like to say, was it worth it to come back? I don't know, is he a senior this year, but was it worth it? You could have potentially gone in the top 6 last year instead of being injured and showing lack of top-end speed. With a foot injury limiting his work in pre-draft processes, Johnson's range for selection remains anywhere from the top 10 to the late teens. If his slide continues into Detroit's range, he could be worthy of a move up for Detroit to add another top young talent to the cornerbacks room. I get where they're coming from with that. I understand where they're coming from with that. That makes sense, but I don't think that logic is as sound as other potential picks. I feel the same way about linebacker Jahad Campbell. Alabama linebacker Jahad Campbell, a strong performance at the NFL Combine, cemented Campbell as a top linebacker prospect in the class. But medical uncertainty led him to falling down the draft board. He underwent surgery to repair a labrum tear in March, which could put his availability for off-season programs in jeopardy. What do you know? Another product out of Alabama entering the draft process with availability and a delayed development process due to injury that has Brad Holmes written all over it. Injury concerns aside, Campbell has been making of a solid NFL linebacker with how well he moves in space. Whether it's to pursue a ball carrier or cover a tight end or back out of the backfield. With Alex Anal Zone in the final year of his contract, adding a young player such as Campbell could be big to benefit the Detroit Lions. Though medicals will likely have a significant impact on where he lands in next week's draft, Campbell should find a way to contribute once he's healthy. Additionally, the Lions have taken players with injury concerns in past drafts. So we just said now, my big concern there is why draft a player when you already have a player coming back from injury, still playing on a rookie scale contract and plays at a very high level. I'm looking at Malcolm Rodriguez. What is the status? What is the rehab status of Malcolm Rodriguez? That's something that we can look into next week. But that is questions. Do you want to burn a first-round pick when you have a high-level talent already in-house, and there are other positions that you could potentially pull the trigger at. Or as I've been saying all draft, trade out, trade out, trade out. Here we go. Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden. This news is kind of just broke this last weekend. The Lions brought Texas the speedy Texas wide receiver, the 4.29 40 Texas wide receiver, in for a top 30 visit just this last weekend, signaling the potentiality for Jamo, Jameson Williams to be traded from the Detroit Lions as a draft day trade if Matthew Golden were to fall to 28. Matthew Golden has all the upsides of a Jameson Williams, currently projected as having better ball tracking skills, probably a little bit better high-end speed, and right now doesn't have the personality or off-field issues that Jamo has had that has hindered his NFL career. Again, Jameson Williams, and I've stated before, the lack of maturity, the lack of professional and personal development and growth at this phase in his career is a little concerning. And with the organization that the Detroit Lions currently are operating, we are a suit and tie, do business, hard hat, lunch pail. We're not here to fuck around. We're here to take names type situation. And I just don't see a world where ultimately, unless Jamo really develops and matures in this offseason, I don't see a world where Jameson Williams is on the Detroit Lions long term, be it personality, be it production on the field, be it availability on the field, or be it the contract that he will be wanting to be dealt out. Jameson Williams is going to end up eating into cap dollars that could be better allocated for Detroit Lions re-signing of players. We cited him yesterday: Campbell, Branch, Gibbs, Hutch, Kirby Joseph, Sam Laporta. There's just a lot of maneuverability. So here we go. Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden, with an abundance of defensive talent available at the top end of the draft board. Talented players such as Golden on the offensive side could fall past their projected range. As a result, he could be available in range for the Lions to snag him as a competitor for the third wide receiver spot right away. Golden has excellent speed, and though he doesn't have the size to be an X receiver, his talent should allow him to get on the field with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. His explosive speed would add another element to Detroit's defense. If there's an early run on defenders, Golden could slip as a result. In that case, Detroit would likely be overjoyed if he's the best option available at the 28th overall pick. And that's something that we didn't even think about. We assume that you draft a wide receiver in the first round, that Jamo's days are limited. But there is a reality. There is a reality where Brad Holmes looks at this from a business perspective, and he says, the guy missed his first 2 years. He had very productive last year, going over 1,000 yards, right? Being a pivotal X factor in the offense. Why separate yourself from that when you can sign him to a fifth-year option, right? So then you get him for arguably this season, next year, and then you consider possibly re-signing him, but you want him to produce well. And then what that does is it gives you then, if you do take Matthew Golden, that gives you 3 dynamic wide receivers, right? Now we did re-sign Fireball Tim Patrick, but Fireball Tim Patrick does not have the wheels that any of the other guys do. I mean, Achilles rupture, ACL tear in his career. The guy being on the field is a miraculous as is, and then re-signing a contract extension with the Lions is very impressive. And I like what Fireball Tim Patrick brings to the field, but he's not your explosive down the field threat like a Jamo, like a Matthew Golden. Golly, could you imagine Jamo and Golden stretching the outside of the field while Amon-Ra and Laporta work the middle? There's just too many weapons. There's too many weapons for a defense to be able to scheme. With all of those weapons available, all of those high-end weapons, that high level of talent, our offense would be unstoppable. All right, last client we have here, last person we're going to look here is safety, South Carolina safety Nick Emmanuel, the combine workout phenom with a 700-inch vertical. Because teams have traditionally valued other positions over the safety spot, a freakish athlete such as Emmanuel, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, could wind up slipping to Detroit's 28th overall pick. Entering the pre-draft process as a second-ranked safety behind Malachi Starks, Emmanuel's explosive combine performance has helped him vault the Georgia product in the eyes of evaluators. With his blend of athleticism and speed, Amon can play as a box safety or lined up deep. At his best, he'd be an upgrade over Ife Melifonwu with his versatility and could nicely gel with Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. And that is a drafting to your strengths move right there with Mr. Amon. That is a solid safety room that you have there. The problem is can you get all three of those guys on the field at once? We know Branch can slide down and play the nickel. And then that gives you a lot of back-end protection with Amon and Kirby Joseph, the best safety in football. So those are 5 guys that we can look to see slide to the Lions. I don't like that. Michael Williams, I like that. I like that idea. And I'm not a big fan of the Will Johnson move. Jahad Campbell, I could take it or leave it, though not super hype, depending on who's on the board. And then Matthew Golden, we've talked about that now to a nth degree, both yesterday and today. Really like the idea of what that brings. And warming up to Amon, though I'm not really sold on a first-round pick for him. Right? Not really sold on that, so... That's that article. If you guys haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, ring that notification bell, and you can find all that stuff by simply doing a barrel roll down underneath the bathtub of this video. So let's walk on over. Oh, what do you know? More SI on Detroit. We're just going to keep it local, This is Lions target Georgia end and Kiper Yates 3-round mock draft. Mel Kiper made Lions pick 3 picks in the latest ESPN mock draft. So this is a mock draft from Hawkman himself, Mel Kiper Jr., and Field Yates, right? Pause that. The 2025 NFL Draft is right around the corner. In the week leading up to an important off-season date, pundits are starting to release their final mock draft. ESPN analyst Hawkman and Field Yates rotated, making their selections in a recently released 3-round mock draft. It'd help if I could read. Kiper ended up making 3 picks for the Lions in the latest projection. With the number 28 pick, the team addressed their need along the defensive line by targeting one of the top edge rushers, Michael Williams out of Georgia. Quote, "We talk a lot about the Lions' pass rush hole opposite Aiden Hutchinson. Let's fix it. Williams can beat blockers with his explosiveness, and he has even more upside with the Lions' new defensive coordinator, Kelvin Shepherd, to unlock." I love that Kelvin Shepherd. I am so hype about Kelvin Shepherd being our defensive coordinator. I really think our defense is going to go to the next level. Detroit is expected to fill a need at the guard position in the draft with pick number 60. The team targets guard Marcus Mabau out of Purdue, taking him numerous times in drafts, and I cannot explain how sold I am on Mabau in the second round. As Kiper explained, quote, "There's an opening at right guard in Detroit, and Mabau could compete with Kyoto Awashika and Christian Mahogany to the start. He has spent 2 seasons at right tackle, but started at right guard in Purdue in 2022. Linebacker Barrett Carter out of Clemson was a selection at the number 102. Detroit had some injury struggles at the position last season. Freakish amount of injury struggles the amount of injury struggles that the Lions had across our entire defense. The linebacker room got annihilated. Just got absolutely annihilated. I mean, our backups were getting hurt. We are so lucky that Action Jack Campbell made it through last season unscathed and played at a very high level. With veteran Alex Anelzone on last year of his contract, adding a young prospect at the linebacker spot would be a good move for the Lions' future. Quote, "I thought about Central Arkansas, Rudge Escher, David Walker here because I really think he's going before round 4. But after using their first-round pick on Michael Williams, the Lions might opt to touch up the linebacker room with Carter. He could contribute in a lot of ways. Carter had 77 tackles, 3.5 sacks, and 9 pass breakups last season. We also brought in, who's that that linebacker we brought in from Indy? Man, he was a real low-key under the radar signing. Detroit Lions linebackers. Let's try free agents signings. Ezekiel Turner, Anthony Pittman, Grant Stewart. That's the guy who I'm talking about. Grant Stewart, yeah. So not only did we re-sign Derek Barnes, who can play all over the linebacker room at a relatively high level outside of the freakish year of injuries last year, but we did re-sign Anthony Pittman, a special teams phenom, Ezekiel Turner, and Grant Stewart. That's who it was, Grant Stewart. So we do have a lot of depth at the linebacker room, a lot of seasoned depth. We did let old Germ go, Jeremy Reeves-Maben, but that was not expected, or not unexpected. So now all of our 3 starters are back with Campbell, Anal Zone, and Derek Barnes. You then have a plethora of linebackers now. Yeah. God damn it. Malcolm Rodriguez. Is he still under contract? Yeah. Yeah, he's still under contract with us. Oh, he had a kid 3 weeks ago. Hey, that's awesome. Okay, sorry, got a little off topic there. Got a little off in the weeds. Let's do ourselves a little barrel roll on over here to YouTube.com. Now, this guy right here, this Tom Grassi guy. Excuse me. Now, he is a Packers fan. This guy is the Packer fan, and not only was he the Packer fan, big shout out to Tom Grassi. He was the 2024 NFL Fan of the Year, okay, and justifiably so. Not only does Mr. Grassi make just insanely high quality and really good content, he is totally deserving of all of the accolades he has as a content creator and as just an excellent NFL fan. This guy's a champion of the NFL. Yes, he's a Packers fan, but he does a great job. I cannot recommend you checking out his channel enough. Hey, we're going to roll over to the chat here. My guy, Mr. Detroit City. Dude, better late than never. Let's go Lions. Let's go, Mr. Detroit City. I'm super glad you're here, bud. We're gonna watch this Tom Grassi 2-minute video, and then we're gonna do the mock draft to end the week, dude. So, just to finish up here about Tom Grassi. This guy does this thing called chaotic good, and shout out to him. A few weeks ago, he did a challenge where he live streamed every single day, 24 hours straight, until he either hit 1 million subscribers or raised $1 million for charity. And this isn't the first time the guy's done not necessarily that challenge, but he has raised millions and millions of dollars for charity. Mostly, I think he works mostly with like St. Jude's. But like last year, the guy he does this, I think it's 30 and 30, where he traveled to 30 NFL stadiums in 30 days, did all kinds of wild stuff. And every part of it was to raise money for charity. He's raised well over a couple $1 million at this point, and he's justifiably earned NFL Fan of the Year last year. He's actually the guy that, because he's a Packers fan, makes light of the situation where like the past 3 years the Lions have seemingly jumped up and taken the guy that he wants the Packers to take. So this is just the Lions before the draft. This is just a funny little video, so let's just watch this from Tom Grassi.
Man, can't believe the draft is next week already.
Yep, crazy stuff.
I mean, I can't imagine how busy you are. Just so many prospects to go through and research.
You're telling me.
You know, if you need any help researching, I could...
Oh, no. No.
What?
You're not doing this again. Every single time I tell you who I want for the Packers, the Lions swoop on in and take them from me.
Okay, I was just offering.
Oh, just offering, huh? To what? Rip out my heart again? You remember Jameson Williams? Maybe Terry and Arnold? I don't know. Or who could forget Brian Branch?
I love that video.
Well, I don't, and it's not happening this year.
Wow. I mean, wow. Do you really think that you're that important?
What?
I mean, I knew that Packers fans were all high and mighty and full of themselves, but this?
It's true though, because Packers fans are all high and mighty on themselves. They for real So growing up, dude, as a Lions fan, it was always hard because Packers fans were always like, it's like dealing with U of M fans, man.
Really? Like everybody in the NFL wants to know which players Tom thinks are good.
I wasn't.
You're a YouTuber, Tom. Okay? One that I occasionally chuckle at. The Lions have an entire scouting department dedicated to finding the best players in the NFL draft, okay? So why don't you and your ego take a little bit of a step back?
Yeah. I guess you're right. Sorry.
It's fine, I guess.
Well, I guess if you really want to help, Jameson Williams actually looks...
You heard that, Brad? I got him! I got him! I know who we're drafting now!
I hate the draft.
That's good shit. That's good shit. That is good shit. Mr. Tom Grossi. Grossi Posse. Yeah. All right, so that's the Tom Grossi video. It's so accurate. It's so on point. All right, boys, let's get into this mock draft simulator. If you haven't already, make sure to like the video, comment down below if you're watching this video on demand. Please engage with the chat if you're feeling frisky and froggy and want to hang out. Mr. Detroit City, Jeanette Hall are in the chat hanging out. And, like I said, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz. We're going to barrel roll on over to ProFootballNetwork.com. We're going to do 7 rounds. We're going to click it up to fast because even though it's Wednesday, I still got to go to work, so I can't be hanging out too late. We're going to be sitting at Detroit Lions in the 28th spot, and when things fall to us, we will see how they shake out. So let's go ahead and enter this draft. Bam, ba-dam, bam, bam. Whoa, Black Betty. Bam, ba-lam. Holy crappers, that moves fast. Wowza. Bam. I'm going to drop that down. We're going to quickly run through Ward, Hunter, Carter, Will Campbell, Mason Graham, Will Johnson, Shedeur Sanders, McMillan, Shamar Stewart to the Aints, huh? Okay, well, that's because Shedeur Sanders went to 7. Tyler Warren, Membu, Ashton Genty to the Cowboys. Ashton Genty to the Cowboys, huh? Jalen Walker, Banks, Mike Green, Jameson Williams, Matthew Golden to the Broncos, Malachi Starks, Jahad Barron, Tyler Booker, Colston Loveland, Derek Harmon, Egabuka, Gray Zabel. Damn, I like that guy. Scorton, James Pierce Jr., Shaven Rebel, and the Lions are sitting here at 28. Good number of guys there on the... Good number of guys. Good number of names up here. Good number of names to look for. Let's go ahead and kick it on over to defense. Defensive tackle. There's Kenneth Grant. There's our guy. What about edge? Big E's there. Landon Jackson. Josiah Stewart. Well, there's some guys there. Let's see what we got on offer. Pick up the phone. Oh, hello, New York. Oh, hello. Oh, hello, New York. Look at that. Look at that. Right where we want to be. Trading out of 28 to one of the first 2 picks in the second round. I'm going to bail on the 4th round, move up in the 3rd. Yes, please. Thank you very much. And then we're going to sit tight at 34. Damn, Jalen Moore. So the Giants took him on a Warrior, huh? Then Campbell, Simmons, Hampton, and Walter Nolan, huh? He went over our guy. Well, it's pretty much locked and loaded. If we're going to trade back to 34, let's see what the offers are. Yeah, no. Nope, not good. Not good enough for me. And our guy fell to us. And I'm just licking my chops. I'm just champing at the bit. I'm just ready to go. Welcome aboard, Kenneth Grant, in the 2nd round. Oh, that's exactly what I wanted, was to trade out like that. Oh my gosh, 28 to 34 is perfect. Nah, I'm definitely no. Fuck the Bears. Yeah, we're gonna sit tight at number 60. Quite a few players available here. This is our second pick in the second round. There's Mabau. He's been our guy for a while. Let's go ahead and look over at edge. Who's on edge? Oof. Hey, okay. Yeah. Shit. All right. So now we're going to start playing with some grass here. Gas? Cooking with gas? Three guys here. There's three guys here that I am sold on at the edge spot. Josiah Stewart, Jordan Birch, and Jack Sawyer. But do I feel like they're going to be available at 65? We're at 59, so that'd be 6 picks away. There are a lot of guys here. There's a lot of guys here. A lot of guys to be picked through before it gets down to us. Knowing that there's 3 defensive ends, and we're moving 6 spots back, I'm going to roll the dice and hope that one of our those defensive ends, one of those 3 prospects that I am super high on, falls to us at 65, because that's a nice little slide back. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Marcus Mabau, because we're super high on him all draft process. We're going to sit tight, reject. We're going to sit tight. Look at that, first pick in the 3rd round. So not only do we get the first pick in the 3rd round, but then we get the last pick in the 3rd round because of that compensatory pick for Aaron Glenn. We're going to barrel roll over to the chat. Mr. Detroit City, we got our guy Kenneth Grant, and you like that Mabau pick at 2, dude? You like how we ran that shit back, and we're able to pick? This is the absolute perfect situation to be in right here. This is the perfect scenario for the Lions to be in. Let's go and address our edge spot right here. All of our guys are still there. Now it comes down to, who do we want to pick? We've been high on Josiah Stewart, right, in the past few weeks. Jordan Birch was a guy that we were high on early on, along with Jack Sawyer, right, the poor man's Aiden Hutchinson. Josiah Stewart has been in for a lot of draft day visits with the line, or top 100 prospect visits. He's done digital, in person, and pre-combine interviews. I really like Jordan Birch. I also really love Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer is one of the most productive edge defenders in college football down the stretch. 24, racking up career high 9 sacks on a championship run. The production at the center of his evaluation, but his overall projection is more complicated. At 6'4", 260 pounds. Sawyer has good size and a red-hot motor, but his short arms combined with his lack of high-end burst and bend could limit his ultimate ceiling. Having all of this as a sturdily built rotational edge with a solid 2-phase utility, Sawyer could have a long NFL career or future as a depth piece at the very least. Jack, come on home, dude. Mr. Detroit City, you know what did you know that, like, I was trying to convince myself to not draft Jack Sawyer? Like, as soon as I seen he was still there, and this is what I was worried about, was I wanted to have that choice taken away from me. I was kind of thinking one of these 3 guys, if not 2 of them, would be gone in those 5 picks. But I'm going to take Jack Sawyer. I got to take action Jack Sawyer. Getting the comp of a poor man's Aiden Hutchinson. Now, yes, we do know that Josiah Stewart has been in for many visits. Jordan Birch has a good amount of upside, but I've been in love with Jack Sawyer the entire draft process, right? So we're going to go ahead and pull the trigger. Jack Sawyer, number 65th overall pick, first pick in the 3rd round. Welcome aboard, Detroit Lions. Some people have Jack Sawyer falling past 75. Yeah, I've seen Sawyer go all over the place, man. We're done trading out. And then Josiah Stewart went 1 pick ahead of our 3rd round. Oh, Deion Walker fell to the 3rd round, huh? Let's see who all's out here. Man, oh man. Well, look who's here. Look who's here at 102. There he is. There's our boy. We already know who we're taking. We're going to take Spanker, the Sanker Spanker. We're going to take Sanker the Spanker, but we're just seeing who all is here. Pretty normal names of guys. All right. Jonas Sanker the Spanker, welcome aboard. This is turning out to be an absolutely monster haul for us right now, guys. Holy cow. So we traded out of the 4th round, so now we just got to sit here with our thumb in our ass. Bingo bongo. Oh, and I am 100% not ever trading with the Green Bay Packers. Bunch of commie fucks. So let's find ourselves some depth players here. Let's go offense. See who's available in the wide receiver room. Not a lot of big names. Not too wild about this. Not too wild about that. Let's take a look at who is all available. 5th round. 6th round. We are in the 6th round. So we got 2 picks left. Cody Lindenberg. Huh? Cody Lindenberg? Linebacker out of Minnesota? Huh? Let's take a look at the linebacker rooms, huh? Lindenberg. Nick Martin. Kind of getting down in the weeds, boys. Kind of getting down in the weeds here. Didn't I take Rocket Sanders last pick, last mock draft? I feel like I did. All right, let's take Lindenberg out of Minnesota. Give ourselves a depth spot there. Oh, yes, Mr. Detroit City. Trade out of the rest of this. Uses ammo for next year. Screw it. Yeah, dude, I'm not mad at that, actually. Yeah, I'm not mad at that, to be honest with you, but I wouldn't. We're going to take Sanders, bam. Just because, yeah, I'm actually on board with that, trying to trade out of this draft. Trying to trade out of this draft would be ideal. Corey Brooks, 6'2", dynamic wide receiver known for his impressive size and playmaking ability after transferring from Alabama to Louisville. Revitalized career, standout, recording 61 for 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. The deep threat, utilizing his speed, ball tracking skills to stretch defenses and create explosive plays, as will allow him to line up across various positions. Schemes, however, his route running can be inconsistent, and he occasionally struggles with physical press coverage, impacting his separation from Brooks' combination of size, speed, and production makes him a compelling prospect for teams seeking a versatile playmaker. Welcome aboard, Ja'Cory Brooks, in the 7th round. Because, yes, I would be ideally looking to trade out of all these picks. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Very nice. Yes, very nice. Very demure. Look at this. So we traded out of 28 to 34. And then with that 28 pick, we also were able to go to 34 and then 60, which are we were able to go from 28 to 34, and then we picked up the 65th pick in the draft, which is just a fucking awesome steal. So Kenneth Grant slid to us in the 2nd round, the guy that we have just, I mean, if the stock market could follow my just explosive just demand to get Kenneth Grant, we'd all be rich, right? Because my chart on Kenneth Grant has gone from this to practically 90 degrees straight up as far as his draft stock fit in the Detroit Lions. Marcus Mabau, we cannot stop drafting this very versatile offensive lineman out of the University of Purdue. I have my takes on Purdue, namely because of what they've done to the American populace through pharmaceuticals, but that's neither here nor there. It doesn't take away from Marcus Mabau and his ability to play at a high level, and gives us a nice depth/competition piece at that right guard spot. Right, with Zeitler gone, we have pretty much slated in Christian Mahogany because he played at such a high level, the little bit of exposure that we've seen last year in his rookie year, right? We know the Awashika is a suitable backup, and if the trajectory of Graham Glasgow continues to the rate that it's been going, he'll continue to descend and fall back down in his production, leaving as Glasgow plays at a lower and lower level, that window for these other guys like a Mabau, like a Mahogany, to come in and play opens up more and more and more. Also, Graham Glasgow, keeping him on roster gives you the versatility that he can play center at a relatively high level. We have seen how the Lions think of Evan Brown a couple years back. We like to have that tweener interior offensive line player who can slide from the guard to the tackle or to the center position. So God forbid anything happens to Frank the Tank Ragnow, you slide Graham Glasgow over, and then you have a high level of competition for his temporary replacement at the left guard spot, allowing one of three guys competing for two spots to be able to then fill that void. Action Jack Sawyer at 65. We were torn between all three of the edge prospects that we like as day 2 picks. We've been super high on Action Jack Sawyer all offseason. Jordan Birch has been a guy that I am happy to take as a compensatory depth piece if the two of the top prospects that I want at that spot being Josiah Stewart and Action Jack Sawyer. He was also there, and then obviously Josiah Stewart was there. The Lions have indicated that they're very, very high on him, though I personally think that if Action Jack Sawyer falls to the first pick in the 3rd round, I give the guy a first-round grade, right? And then you're at best player available. It's foolish not to pull the trigger on Action Jack Sawyer. We did see, though, that as it broke down, one pick before we went at 102 to take our boy Jonas Sanker, the Spanker, we did see that Josiah Stewart fell all the way to 101. So that is a potential possible maneuverability there for Brad Holmes to make if that were the way that it were to go. Again, I cannot stop taking the safety out of Virginia, Jonas Sanker, the wild Spanker. The guy is projected to be a special teams phenom as well as a solid depth piece, rotationary safety, good value piece that we could add to our development in the back end of our safety room. Again, we have 2 of the top 5 safeties in the NFL. Ideally, nothing happens to them. But in the event that one of them were to miss any time at all, having a guy like a Jonas Sanker, the wild Spanker, would be a nice compensatory, or not compensatory, but a nice little piece to have, just in the an insurance option, as it were. We then grabbed depth pieces the rest of the draft with Cody Lindenberg, the linebacker out of Minnesota, come in and compete, maybe stash him on the practice squad, bump him up if there's a healthy scratch or an injury to the linebacker room. Hopefully the linebacker room stays healthy. Rocket Sanders out of South Carolina, some knee injuries later on in his collegiate career dropped him out of a first-round grade, but still a productive running back. Gives us more depth to compete for the 3-4 wide running back spot between Vaki and Craig Reynolds. Craig Reynolds is obviously never going to be the long-term solution, and we did see that with David Montgomery going down last year. Jahmyr Gibbs can handle the load, but do you want to put that many miles on him and reduce his longevity of the NFL? And then at 244 in the 7th round, we grabbed Ja'Cory Brooks, a 6'2", 200-pound wide receiver with deep downfield volatility, good ball tracking skills, though, is a developmental piece that could compete, probably a practice squad stash player. Absolutely in love with these first 4 picks, though. Man, oh man. And, I'm actually very much in line with Mr. Detroit City and his take on trading out after our first 4 picks. Maybe stick around for the 5th, but then burning the 6th and 7th rounds, trading out, grabbing some future picks from another organization that's really high on a guy. Maybe you're looking at organizations that are hindered with salary cap hell and they need to go rookie routes. I'm looking at you, New Orleans. The Browns are going to need to build out some of their roster. They're also in cap hell. There's just some moves that can be made ideally. Now, you're not going to get a lot of high value picks, but what you would be getting is, future day 3 picks that you can then package together in next year's draft or come the trade deadline like we've seen with the Zadarius Smith. You know what I'm saying? Gives Brad Holmes more capital to wheel and deal the way that Brad Holmes has been able to do his entire tenure here in the Motor City. So love this. Love this Kenneth Grant sliding to 34. Love trading back to 34. Absolutely love this. Absolutely love this. If this is the way that the draft goes, I couldn't be happier. I could not be happier if this is the way that the draft goes. So, well, it was a fun day, guys. A fun little Wednesday morning. We talked draft. We talked draft, and more draft for the Detroit Lions. didn't really foray out into the NFL too much because as we get closer and closer to the draft next Thursday, we'll be focusing more and more on the Detroit Lions, though there will be NFL news sprinkled in. As we get closer to the draft, we'll start to see more teams signaling, i.e. the Broncos last year, i.e. the New Orleans Saints potentially this year, i.e. the Detroit Lions and Jameson Williams. I'm Chasing Chase, and I'm late. Stupid work meeting, but just wanted to say, hey, man, dude, I appreciate you hanging in here, dude. I appreciate you dropping by and saying what's up, dude. You kind of caught us at the back end of the show, but work meeting's a work meeting, dude. And look, man, I'm never going to ask you to put work or put the Hat and Beard Show over work, but ideally, eventually here, maybe someday, work can be the Hat and Beard Show, if you know what I'm saying, brother. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Mr. Detroit City, I really appreciate the support, my guy. Got any big plans for the weekend? You guys just going to be chilling, or is we got just a normal off-season weekend? I think the Panthers play Friday night. Let's go ahead and look this up real quick. UFL schedule 2025. Yeah, that's right. We get the Showboats. We opened the season down in Memphis and took care of business with that. You already know I'm down. I know you're down, bro. I know you're down. That's why I said it. Yeah, all right. So week 4 of the UFL season kicks off this week, and it kicks off. Fox does a Friday night football thing, and the Memphis Showboats will be traveling to Ford Field for their second matchup of the season against the Michigan Panthers. Michigan was able to win last week behind the, they tried to lose it at the back end, but the human highlight reel for the UFL, Bryce Perkins, really put the team on his back. Sunshine down here in Florida, going to relax in the pool. Mr. Detroit City, do me a solid, bro, and try and relax in the pool down in the sunshine for me a little bit there, bro, because I don't know what's going on here in Michigan, but we are having just like the most bullshit spring, dude. I realize that it's super cliche to say, but seriously, between Monday and Tuesday, we had all 4 seasons, and it was fucking annoying, dude. Right now, it's 38 degrees and mostly cloudy. Good show. Looking forward to the draft. Thank you, Jeanette Hall. I appreciate that. Make sure you guys tune in and hang out, as I was saying at the beginning of the show, and we will be advertising it as we get closer and closer to the draft. There will be obviously next Thursday. So next week, let's just give you a quick rundown of the schedule. Next week, Monday through Wednesday, show as always, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at youtube.com/The Hat and Beard Show. I'm chasing Chase. Yep, my allergies are hating it. Mine too, my guy. Might I recommend over the counter? If you're not wanting to go get a prescription for Flonase works really, really well, but you can go to Meijer and you can get this stuff called X-Clear. It's a nasal spray, and it's made with xylitol. So it's sugar-based, right? And it actually works really, really well for an over-the-counter medication. And I've had horrible allergies my entire life. My whole life, I've always been a snot-nosed little shit-face. There was a little bit of time there where I was seeing an allergist when I was a kid. A teenager. And I tell you what was nice about that was it's like I could breathe like a real boy. It was awesome, dude. Yep, I use it. Yes, dude. X-Clear. That shit works great. Also, fun fact about X-Clear. Okay, look. Actually, xylitol, X-Clear, actually has been shown to kill the coronavirus in nasal passages. It actually kills the virus. So if you're one of the people who's worried about that, that's an avenue you can go. But yeah, that X-Clear stuff works real good if you don't want to go get like a Flonase or something like that. So yeah, next week will be Monday through Wednesday, show as always, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then Thursday starts my first day of 4 days off on vacation. Thursday at 5 p.m. We'll be doing community notes or community posts probably every day just to kind of keep everyone in the know. Next Thursday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm going to have to fight with, that sucks. I just realized that I'm going to be fighting with Woodward Sports. That's when the heavyweights show is, and that's like my favorite show on Woodward. It's not a competition. It's just what works out for me because we'll do Thursday 5 to 7, Okay, we'll be doing mock drafts and news, and then we'll call it happy hours because then I'm going to crack me a couple sodas, have a couple sodas on stream with you guys, and then would like that hour 7 to 8. I'm going to plan on ordering me some Mexican food from Acapulco down here down the road. Do a little quick pickup, come home, eat me some California burrito, and then watch the draft at 8 p.m. So that is the plan, and I hope all you guys can come, hang out, give us some feedback, because we'll be doing a couple mock drafts that Thursday evening, and I'd like the chat to be involved as much as possible. I'd really like your guys' takes. You guys got a lot of good dynamic takes. Some of you say exactly what I want to hear, which pushes me to draft a specific player, but look, I like Jack Sawyer. What can I say? Yeah, so that's going to be about it. Hopefully, everybody has a good rest of the week. There's only 2 more days after today. We're pretty much barreling down the back end, and spring is so close. Just checking the weather. Friday is supposed to be warm, and what was originally projected as a bunch of storms here in Michigan seems to be tapering down. Maybe storms later on in the evening, which means that I can maybe get out and play in the yard. First and foremost, we got to replace the main drive belt on my John Deere, and then I got to throw in a new pinion gear and fan sprocket, or new pinion sprocket and fan gear to rotate, because I chewed through mine last year. Just be careful when you're out there doing stuff. Throw some new blades on, and then we get to what I'd like to do is mow real low. I mean, I need to cut it super low. And then sweep all the clippings, dethatch, sweep all that up, pull cores, overseed, and then wait for 2 weeks while that overseed takes place. That's what I'd really like to have happen while driving home nitrogen into the yard with some organic Milorganite, because the seed I'm going to throw down is going to have fertilizer already packed in around the seed itself, so we don't want to overburn the yard with nitrogen. So if we maybe that second week, while we're waiting for the growth, throw a couple pounds of Milorganite down on there. We all know nitrogen drives the bus. With grass, nitrogen drives the bus, and what nitrogen does is nitrogen pushes the chlorophyll up into the leaves of the plant itself, giving it that rich green color that we all know and love. We're running a mix of a little bit of Kentucky bluegrass and a little bit of rye grasses here with a nice sun and shade mixture, and we'd like to spend some time in the yard there this upcoming week, or this Friday, and then next week, between drafting and Hat and Boobs having a root canal, will be Lawnapalooza over here, getting everything plumb level and square for the spring and summer. I take a lot of pride in the yard work that I do around here. So, yeah. How about you, bud? Any plans this weekend? Comment down below what your plans are. Let me know your lawn schedule. You got big plans for working in the yard? Any yard projects y'all got planned? We got a couple of, we're going to be planting a raspberry bush here as a memorial raspberry bush for a family member. And then a couple of new plants need to go in. I do need to, what's today, Wednesday? Yeah, my dad's coming over tomorrow to look at some stuff. Need to ask my dad to bring over the Sawzall so I can borrow that. I got to get down and cut some, just some shit out of the bottom of the one flower bed there, so I can kind of dress that and make it look a little bit more professional. Because, well, tools are expensive. And I tell you what, right now at my job, cutting grass now, actually, Mr. Detroit City. I wish I was in your shoes, bro. I wish I was cutting grass right now, man. I love mowing lawns, dude. It's so relaxing. It is so just like meditative and relaxing to just get out there, and then you get that smell of the fresh cut grass. Oh man, it is just one of the best things, dude. It's one of the best things. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. So that's gonna do it for me today. That's gonna do it for us this week. Make sure you guys can't. Well, the screen's a little screwed up, but over here you can see the Week 4 matchups for the UFL. Tune in Friday night if you got nothing going on. 8 p.m. over on Fox. You can catch the Michigan Panthers beat the shit out of the Memphis Showboats. They're one of the worst teams in the league, but it's neither here nor there. It's fun, and the talent level is higher this year than it was last year. And after Week 1, things have kind of gelled. Teams are playing a lot better. We're starting to figure out who teams are and what they're doing. Painting, pressure washing, cutting grass, etc. Love it. Yes, dude. So I actually used to hate painting quite a bit, and now I actually don't mind it so much. I love pressure washing. That shit is so just it's the same as cutting grass or cleaning carpets. It's just very meditative, very zen, very relaxing. Doesn't necessarily feel like work. You know what I'm saying? All right, boys. It's 11:04 Wednesday. I think we had a pretty good series of 2 shows this week. We had a good couple shows this week. Monday was a bit of a shit show, you know what I'm saying? But appreciate those of you who tuned in Monday. If you're listening afterwards, you guys are never going to find it. We put it on private, but I was having kind of a shit day, man. I was kind of having a trash can of a day Monday morning, and I want to shout out you, all of you in the chat right now. You all were here Monday, and you all made my Monday a lot better, right? I was kind of spiraling, and if it wasn't for you cats, man, I'd have been Mr. Pissed Off Jr. all day. So shout out to you guys. Really appreciate it. Love hanging out with you guys. Love chatting, just chewing the fat. And I genuinely do look forward to hanging out with you guys every day. So, yeah. All right. That's going to be it for me. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Make sure to tune in Monday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. YouTube.com/The Hat and Beard Show. Try and have a good rest of your week. Enjoy the weekend. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And don't call for bail. Until Monday, I've been Hat and Beard. Bonga bonga. Frig off.